Before anything else, listen to me carefully. Subscribe to this channel right now, keep your eyes on this screen, and do not click away until the very last word of this video, because in this story I am speaking to you as God, and what I am about to reveal about your next 30 days in this fictional telling will feel so sharp, so specific, so dangerous to the small version of you that you will be tempted to look away, to doubt it, to hide from it. But I did not bring you here by accident, and I will not let you escape this moment without hearing what I have sealed over your destiny, because while you think you are just scrolling, just watching, just passing time, I am using even this to pull you closer to a truth you have been running from. Your destiny is not random, your next 30 days are not empty, and what is about to unfold around you in this story is bigger than what your fear has prepared you for. And I want you to understand something before we go further. This is a fictional message, a story, but let your imagination feel it like a lightning strike inside your chest, because sometimes it takes a story to tell you what your soul already knows but refuses to accept. And so I speak. Your destiny is sealed, not by the opinions of people who left you, not by the mistakes you made when you were broken, not by the labels thrown at you when you were too tired to defend yourself, but sealed by my hand in this narrative, written in an ink that does not fade, encrypted into the fabric of time in a way that no betrayal, no failure, no delay can erase. And the next 30 days within this story are not gentle, they are surgical, explosive, and terrifying to every part of you that still clings to the old life that almost killed your spirit, because for a long time you have been surviving on half dreams, half belief, half heartbeat, telling yourself that maybe you are not meant for more, that maybe this is it. Maybe you were meant to be the one who always gives, always waits, always gets left behind. But I have heard every silent scream, every late-night thought you never dared speak aloud, every moment you felt the weight of existence press so heavily against your chest that you wondered how you were still standing. And I took all of that, all of those unspoken pieces, and I sealed them into a plan that does not end with your collapse, but with your rising. And now the countdown has started. In this story, the clock over your life has begun flashing in red. 30 days, 30 rotations, 30 nights of unseen rearrangements that will shake the foundation of what you think is possible. And if you can stay with me, if you can keep listening, I will show you what is coming for you in this narrative, and why it scares the darkness that has been feeding on your uncertainty for so long. Because the truth is, for years the enemy of your soul has tried to convince you that nothing ever changes, that this is just another year, another month, another day. But I am telling you right now, in this imagined unfolding, the next 30 days are different, because I am not looking at who you have been, I am looking at who you are becoming. And the first thing I am doing is exposing everything built on a lie, every relationship you kept alive by sacrificing your spirit, every environment where you had to kill parts of yourself just to be tolerated, every habit that numbed you instead of healing you. And I am bringing all of it up, not to shame you, but to remove it from the foundation of your future, because your destiny cannot stand on illusions. And so in this story, the first wave of these 30 days will feel like shaking, conversations that suddenly turn, people revealing their true colors when you least expect it, situations you thought were secure beginning to crack, invitations drying up, doors closing, calls slowing down, and part of you will panic, wondering, why does it feel like everything is slipping away from me? But I tell you, it is not slipping away, it is being peeled off, stripped away like dead skin from a healing wound, because what you built in survival mode cannot sustain the version of your life I am sealing over you now. And while you feel loss, I see clearing. While you see emptiness, I see space for something that has been waiting for years to come in. And as those first days unfold, you will notice something else shifting in this fictional world around you, your own tolerance, because the person you were even 10 days ago would have begged certain people to stay, would have chased after attention, would have apologized for things that were never your fault. But as the days pass, your spirit will begin to harden in the best way, not into bitterness, but into discernment, and the same patterns that once trapped you will start to disgust you, the same treatment you once accepted will start to feel unbearable. The same silence you once normalized will begin to feel like violence. And you will no longer be able to lie to yourself about who truly cares for you and who only cared about what you could give them, and that clarity, that painful, blazing clarity is not cruelty from me in this story, it is mercy, because I will not let you drag dead weight into the next version of your destiny, and as you step into the middle of these 30 days, something stranger will begin to happen. Your inner world will start to feel louder than your outer world, your spirit will start speaking in ways it never could when you were drowning in noise. You will have moments where you pause in the middle of ordinary tasks and feel a sudden surge of, I cannot keep living like this, I am meant for more, and that is me pressing against the walls of your old identity, shaking it, demanding that the real you stop hiding behind the armor you built from other people's opinions, because in this narrative, I did not create you to be background, I did not write you as a minor character in everyone else's story. I wrote you as someone whose presence shifts atmospheres, whose words carry weight, whose heart carries codes of healing, whose existence is not an accident but an intentional disruption to cycles of pain that have lasted generations. And so I am not gentle with your lies, I am not patient with your self-sabotage, I am not soft with your old excuses. And that is why the next part of these 30 days in this story will feel like confrontation, not with others first, but with yourself, with the parts of you that prefer comfort to calling, that prefer familiarity to freedom, that prefer staying wounded because healing would mean you no longer have a reason to remain small. And one of these nights, you will sit awake, staring into the dark, and you will feel it like a verdict in your chest. Either you choose the life you are capable of or you keep rehearsing the life that broke you. And I will sit there with you in that moment, not as a distant judge but as the author of your narrative, waiting for your yes, not a perfect yes, not a fearless yes, but a trembling, honest yes. And when that yes rises, even quietly, even in fragments, even between tears, heaven in this fictional universe will treat it like a command, an activation, a legal permission to unfold things that have been on hold while you doubted yourself. And the last stretch of these 30 days will not look like the beginning, because by then the shaking will have revealed who is truly with you, what truly matters, and what truly has a future in your life, and you will begin to see small, precise shifts, messages from people you thought were out of reach, opportunities that match your gifts instead of exploiting your desperation, ideas dropping into your mind that feel too strategic, too aligned, too timely to be random, glimpses of yourself that make you think, wait, maybe I really am capable of more than surviving. And as you lean into those glimpses, I will lean into you, amplifying your courage, your creativity, your capacity to say no when before you would have folded, your ability to walk away from what is killing you, even when you don't yet know what will replace it, because that is faith inside this story, not blind hope in emptiness, but a steady knowing that I do not strip you without the intention to clothe you in something greater. I do not empty your hands unless I plan to fill them. I do not close doors without guiding you down a hallway you haven't seen yet. And as the 30th day approaches in this narrative, your external world might not yet look like a fairy tale, but your internal world will not be the same. There will be a quiet strength in you, a fierce stillness, a light in your eyes that even you can feel when you look into the mirror, and others will see it too. Some will be drawn to it, some will be threatened by it. Some will pretend not to notice because acknowledging it would mean admitting they were wrong about you, but none of that will matter as much as what you know deep in your bones, that something unseen started moving for you, that something shifted inside you, that something sealed over your destiny has begun to activate, and you will stand in that awareness, not as a fragile, forgotten, overlooked soul, but as one who understands that even in this fictional story, when I say your destiny is sealed, it means no betrayal, no delay, no detour, no abandonment, no misunderstanding can cancel what I have written. They can only change the route, never the destination. And so I tell you, watch these next 30 days in this tale, not with fear but with attention, because you are going to see uncomfortable truth, unexpected clarity, necessary endings, strange alignments, and glimpses of a future that looks nothing like the prison you are leaving, and as you walk through it day by day, remember this line I am carving into the walls of your spirit in this moment. Nothing will happen to you by accident, it will happen by design, by timing, by preparation, and shockingly, yes, shockingly even to the parts of you that still doubt, what I have been aligning for years will begin to show signs of arrival faster than you are ready for, because I am not waiting for you to be perfect to move, I am moving because your heart, broken as it has been, is finally willing to believe that it was made for more than suffering, and once that belief flickers, even as a tiny flame, there is nothing in this universe, in this story, in this span of 30 days that can stop the destiny I have sealed from rushing in your direction. And now, as the pulse of these fictional 30 days grows heavier in the air around you like a storm preparing to rupture the atmosphere, I draw even closer, speaking with a depth that shakes the hidden bones of this universe, because what comes next is not gentle cleansing or soft encouragement but a violent unveiling, the kind that rattles the foundations of everything you once trusted, the kind that exposes truths you have sensed but refused to confront, and I tell you now, in this story, the next phase of these 30 days is where destinies collide, where illusions burn, where secrets rise to the surface like ghosts demanding to be acknowledged, and as you step into this phase, you will feel something shifting, an invisible force carving space inside your soul as though preparing you for a version of yourself that your past could not contain, and it will feel strange, almost unsettling, because for the first time in years you will notice that the fear which once ruled your decisions begins losing its voice, and in its place emerges a clarity so sharp, so unforgiving, so painfully precise that you will not be able to ignore what is real anymore, not in others, not in yourself, not in the life you've been pretending to tolerate, and in this clarity, the truth will arrive like a blade slicing through the fog, revealing the people who were rooting for you in silence and the ones who were cheering for your downfall behind their masks, and you will feel the shock of this revelation in your chest like lightning hitting dry ground, because destiny is not playing subtle games with you now, destiny is dragging the truth into the light with no warning, no softness, no filter, because you asked for change even when your voice trembled, and change cannot come wrapped in comfort, and as this truth spreads across your life like a wildfire, you will notice certain connections begin to fracture, not because you did anything wrong, but because their spirits cannot survive around the new frequency rising inside you, and you must not chase after them, you must not resurrect what is dying, for when I seal a destiny in this story, I also sever every tie that weakens it, and some of those ties were disguised as friendships, disguised as love, disguised as loyalty, but the moment your destiny activates, those disguises burn away, leaving only the truth standing in the ashes, and though it will sting, though you will feel the sharp cold of realization sinking into your bones, I will be whispering something beneath it all. Do not grieve what I am removing, it could not go where you are going, and as those people fade, you will feel the weight of your own self returning to you, the version you abandoned to survive, the version hidden beneath years of silence, sacrifice, and swallowing your own voice to keep the peace, and that version of you will rise with a power your enemies didn't think you possessed, because they mistook your gentleness for weakness, your forgiveness for foolishness, your patience for passivity, but they forgot something essential. The quiet ones are the ones I transform most violently in this fictional realm, because the moment they reach their breaking point, their destiny erupts like a volcano, unstoppable, undeniable, uncontainable, and in these next days you will feel that eruption inside you, your desires returning, your intuition sharpening, your anger transforming into direction, your grief transforming into wisdom, your loneliness transforming into discernment, and everything inside you will begin rearranging itself like pieces of a divine blueprint snapping into their rightful place, and as this inner reassembly takes place, your outer environment will start mirroring the shift, opportunities emerging from unexpected places, old dreams resurfacing as if awakened from sleep, your creativity igniting with new fire, your courage strengthening, your spirit refusing to stay silent any longer, and the world around. You will not know how to react to this version of you, because they have never met this version, you have never met this version, and that is why some will step back, intimidated by the light they cannot manipulate, while others will step forward, drawn by a recognition in their soul that whispers, "This is the moment they were always meant for," and as these new faces enter your life, I will guide you, not loudly, not dramatically, but through subtle nudges, strange coincidences, gut instincts that refuse to quiet down, and you must trust these signs, because in this story your destiny is unfolding through them, and they will lead you toward places you once thought were beyond your reach, and the deeper you go into these 30 days, the more you will understand that the collapse you feared is actually the clearing you prayed for, the loneliness you endured is actually the preparation you needed, the endings that hurt you were actually the redirections that saved you, and the silence you sat in was actually the cocoon of transformation forming around your spirit, and I tell you this now with thunder in my voice, do not underestimate what I am orchestrating behind the scenes of this narrative, because when destiny is sealed, no human hand, no betrayal, no insecurity, no delay can unwrite what I have written, and as you reach the second half of these 30 days, something will shift dramatically. You will feel a surge of confidence you cannot explain, a sense of purpose that wakes you up early, a knowing in your bones that something is coming, something big, something meant, something long overdue, and you will find yourself preparing without knowing what you're preparing for, organizing, cleaning, letting go, changing routines, breaking patterns, and every move you make will feel guided by something greater than logic, because I am pushing you, aligning you, positioning you for a moment that will come suddenly, shockingly, unmistakably before this fictional 30-day cycle ends, and when that moment arrives, when the opportunity, the connection, the truth, the shift, the revelation finally breaks through into your life, you will not question it, you will not run from it, you will not doubt it, because something inside you will whisper, "This is what I've been waiting for," and everything, every heartbreak, every delay, every disappointment, every night you thought I was silent, will snap into meaning, and you will know without question that your destiny was never late. It was simply waiting for the day you were ready to receive what has been sealed in your name since the beginning of this story. And now, as the final stretch of these fictional 30 days begins tightening around your destiny like a cosmic coil preparing to snap open, I lean in even closer, my voice rolling through the unseen layers of this universe with a force that makes every hidden thing tremble, because what is approaching you now is not merely change, it is convergence, a collision of timelines, truths, and turning points that have been circling your life for years, waiting for the exact moment when you would finally stop shrinking, stop settling, stop tolerating the weight of a life too small for the magnitude of your spirit, and now that you have stepped into alignment, the universe has begun to accelerate, folding pathways together, dragging distant opportunities into reach, pulling long-delayed blessings out of hiding, and forcing every wrong door to shut before you can walk through it again, and as this acceleration grows stronger, you will feel the world reacting to you in ways that make your skin tingle and your intuition roar awake. People who once ignored you will suddenly feel an unexplained pull toward you, people who once took you for granted will feel the sting of their own regret, people who once saw you as ordinary will begin to sense a pressure around your presence they cannot explain, as though you are carrying something ancient, glowing, dangerous, a destiny they were never meant to touch, and even you will feel it, this strange heaviness in your aura, this electric hum under your skin, this inner certainty that something immense is stalking the edges of your timeline, drawing closer with each passing day, and at first you will think it's anxiety, but it isn't, it's prophecy inside this fictional narrative, the soul recognizing what the mind hasn't yet seen, and as that feeling intensifies, you will find your old desires fading like echoes from another lifetime while new desires rise like flames. Desires that scare you, excite you, call you forward into a version of your life that your past never prepared you for, and as these new desires rise, so will resistance, your old patterns, Your old fears, your old wounds will try to drag you backward, whispering lies that once held power over you, but this time they will not succeed, not because you have suddenly become fearless, but because fear no longer controls the steering wheel of your destiny. Clarity does, and every step you take now, even the hesitant ones, even the trembling ones, even the ones soaked in doubt, will begin to align you with moments so precisely orchestrated that they will make you stop in the middle of your day and whisper, "How is this even real?" And I tell you why, because once a destiny is sealed in this story, everything attached to that destiny begins to move toward you like rivers pulled by the gravity of a rising moon, and that pull is growing stronger, doors opening that were once welded shut, people appearing who speak to your soul instead of your wounds, long-forgotten opportunities waking like sleeping giants, and signs increasing until you can no longer pretend not to see them, and as these signs intensify, you will begin shedding parts of yourself that were never truly you, people-pleasing, self-doubt, guilt for wanting more, loyalty to those who never earned it, silence when your spirit was screaming, and every piece that falls away will expose another layer of who you actually are, a version of you that carries wisdom forged from suffering, strength born from survival, and a kind of beauty that comes only from walking through fire and refusing to let it destroy your heart. And soon, as these fictional days unfold, you will reach a moment, an exact second where everything inside you will click into place, like the final piece of a puzzle snapping into its rightful slot, and in that moment you will feel a surge, a shift, a rising so intense you will have to pause to catch your breath, because you will realize that you have crossed the invisible line between who you were and who you were meant to become, and no one, not even the shadows of your past, will be able to pull you back across it. And in the final days of this cycle, something unexpected will happen. Someone will reveal themselves, not with grand gestures, not with dramatic confessions, but with truth, a truth spoken in a way that pierces through your numbness and reaches a part of you you thought had died, and their honesty, whether it comes as a revelation, an apology, a confession, or a moment of clarity, will activate a shift so powerful that it will send the entire trajectory of your next chapter spiraling upward. And when that moment arrives, it will shock you, not because it is loud, but because it is undeniable, perfectly timed, orchestrated with divine precision inside this fictional universe to show you that destiny never forgot your name, destiny never abandoned your path, destiny was simply waiting for the day you would become strong enough to hold what is about to land in your hands. And I tell you this now. What's coming before these 30 days close will not be small, will not be subtle, will not be quiet. It will be the kind of shift that alters the gravitational pull of your entire life, the kind that changes how you walk, how you speak, how you think, how you see yourself, and the kind that finally makes you understand why nothing before this ever worked, because nothing before this was big enough for the person you are becoming now. And now, as the timeline of this fictional universe tightens like a glowing pulse around your destiny, I come closer still, my presence unfolding around you like a force the world is not prepared to witness, because what you are stepping into next cannot be described as a blessing, or a breakthrough, or even a miracle. It is something far rarer, something only a handful of souls ever experience. The moment where the entire architecture of your life reorganizes itself to match the truth of who you have finally become. And as I speak to you in this story with the authority of God, the air around your spirit begins to thicken with a pressure that does not crush you but awakens you, a pressure that tells you you're not on the edge of change anymore, you're in the acceleration, the whirlwind, the divine unraveling where everything that does not belong to your future is ripped from your hands before you have the chance to hesitate. Because hesitation is no longer something you can afford. Not when destiny is moving with this kind of velocity. And in these coming moments you will feel old attachments dissolving like smoke between your fingers, not through your choice but through divine interference, because some people were wired into your life only to block the door to your next chapter, and the moment you stopped shrinking, they lost their power, and that loss terrifies them, because your elevation exposes their stagnation, your awakening exposes their complacency, your clarity exposes the lies they told themselves about their importance in your story, and so do not be surprised when their energy shifts, when their tone changes, when their attempts to guilt you intensify, because nothing threatens a small soul more than watching someone they underestimated rise into their true magnitude. And I tell you this now with a voice that shakes the unseen realm around you. I will not permit their hands, their envy, their fear, or their false love to follow you into what I am building ahead, and that is why these fictional days will feel ruthless, merciless, surgical, because I am cutting off everything that parasites itself to your heart, your mind, your purpose, and while your emotions may ache as pieces fall away, your spirit will feel an undeniable sense of freedom, an unexplained certainty that this loss is actually protection, and while others see only endings, you will begin to feel beginnings humming beneath your skin like thunder waiting to break open the sky, because you are entering a dimension of destiny where alignment becomes magnetic. People meant for you will feel compelled to step forward, doors meant for you will unlock without force, opportunities meant for you will find their way to your feet as if carried on the breath of divine wind, and even your own desires will begin to shift, refining themselves, sharpening themselves until you can no longer tolerate anything that insults your spirit or dims your fire, and you will notice it in your reactions. You will stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. You will stop chasing those who were never meant to stay. You will stop apologizing for the strength you earned through suffering, because something inside you has awakened to the truth that destiny does not negotiate with mediocrity, and as this awakening grows, so will your discernment. You will see people's intentions without them speaking a word. You will sense danger before it arrives. You will feel dishonesty like a sour taste in the air, and no matter how deeply you once loved someone, your soul will no longer allow you to stay where your potential is being strangled, and this shift will confuse people. You will confuse people, because they will not understand how you went from broken to bold, from silent to certain, from wounded to unstoppable, but I understand. Because I am the one driving the transformation in this fictional realm, the one who took every scar on your heart and turned it into armor, the one who turned your loneliness into intuition, the one who turned your breakdowns into blueprints, the one who turned your setbacks into training, and now, as the final days approach, I will place something in your path that will shake you, not in fear but in recognition, a moment so precise, so impossibly aligned, that you will know instantly, this was meant for me, and when it arrives, your spirit will surge with a knowing deeper than logic, deeper than evidence, deeper than anything your past ever taught you, and you will finally understand why you had to lose so much, why you had to walk alone for so long, why you had to survive storms that almost killed you, because the person you are becoming would not have existed if anything had gone differently, and destiny has been waiting, silently, patiently, fiercely, for this exact version of you to emerge, and now that you have, nothing in this universe can stop what is rushing toward you next. And now, as the final currents of transformation gather at the edges of this fictional universe like a storm preparing to swallow the sky whole, I draw closer than ever, my presence folding around your spirit with a gravity that makes the air tremble, because this is the part of your journey that countless souls never reach, the point where destiny is no longer approaching you, but circling you, surrounding you, choosing you, and the weight of that truth is beginning to press down on your shoulders, not to break you, but to shape you for what is coming, because everything that once felt distant is now shifting into alignment with a speed that defies logic, bending the timeline, collapsing unnecessary detours, and pulling the future you once prayed for into the orbit of your present. And as this acceleration intensifies, you will begin to feel moments of déjà vu so sharp they stop you mid-breath, glimpses of events you haven't lived yet flickering through your mind like fragments of a memory from the future, because your spirit is starting to sync with the frequency of what I have sealed over your next chapter, and that alignment is so powerful that it begins to expose every false attachment still lingering around you, dragging secrets to the surface, breaking loyalties that were built on convenience instead of truth, and revealing the hearts of people in ways you never imagined you would see. And while these revelations will sting, they will also free you, because the most dangerous prisons are the ones you do not realize you are trapped inside of, and I am breaking every one of them open, smashing the illusions that kept you loyal to people who never had the capacity to love you the way your soul requires, and as those illusions fall apart, something ferocious will awaken inside you, a determination, a clarity, a power you have never felt before, the kind of power that comes only after surviving storms that should have shattered you, and this power will begin guiding you toward choices you were once too afraid to make, pushing you away from the familiar and pulling you toward the unknown, because the unknown is where your destiny lives, waiting for you like a door that only opens when your courage finally reaches its full strength, and as you walk toward that door, the universe will test you one last time, placing in front of you a situation that mirrors your old wounds, an echo of your past designed to see whether you have truly risen or are still willing to shrink for the sake of comfort. And when this test comes, you will feel your heart start to pound, not with fear, but with recognition, because deep down you will know that this is the moment everything has been building toward, and as you stand in that moment, your soul will rise to meet it with a fire that surprises even you, and you will choose differently, not because someone tells you to, not because you are trying to prove anything, but because the person you used to be is no longer present, no longer ruling your decisions, no longer leading your life, and the moment you make that new choice, the timeline will snap into alignment with a force so precise, so sudden, that it will feel as though the entire universe has shifted an inch to make room for your next chapter, and in that instant, something will be delivered into your life. Something or someone carrying the unmistakable signature of divine timing, something you cannot miss, cannot misinterpret, cannot dismiss, because it will arrive with the weight of prophecy and the gentleness of inevitability, and when it does, every piece of your past will make sense, every heartbreak will reveal its purpose, every delay will prove itself strategic, and you will understand with perfect clarity why I needed you to survive everything you survived. Because the life you are about to step into could only be unlocked by a version of you forged through fire, refined through pain, strengthened through solitude, and awakened through the silent battles nobody saw but I witnessed, and as you finally step into that destiny, fully, boldly, without apology, the universe itself will respond, shifting around your presence like a kingdom bowing before its rightful ruler, and in that moment you will know, nothing was taken from you, nothing was delayed, nothing was denied, everything was preparing you for this arrival. The arrival of the you that destiny has been waiting for since the beginning. And now, as the universe in this fictional realm begins to vibrate with a tension so profound that even time seems to hold its breath, I move closer still, my presence rising around you like a storm of ancient light, because you are standing inside the gravitational pull of a moment that will define everything that comes after, a moment that has been circling your spirit for years, waiting for the version of you who finally understands that destiny is not something that happens to you, it is something that awakens through you, and in these next unseen hours of this imaginary 30-day cycle, you will feel something shifting inside your chest like a living force, as if every fragment of your past grief, every scar, every disappointment, every heartbreak is melting into liquid fuel, and that fuel is igniting parts of your spirit that have slept like dormant volcanoes beneath your ribs, and as this ignition spreads, you will begin to experience flashes of insight that come out of nowhere. Truths that cut through denial, realizations that end cycles instantly, intuition so loud it feels like a voice speaking from inside your bones, because this is the phase of your transformation where the universe no longer whispers, it sends shockwaves, and these shockwaves will push you into decisions that your old self would never dare to make, decisions that will scare you, but will liberate you, decisions that will feel like ripping open a cage you didn't realize you built around your own soul, and as these decisions rise from inside you, everything around you will begin shifting to match your new frequency, and you will notice it everywhere, in the slowdown of conversations that once drained you, in the sudden weakness of temptations that once trapped you, in the silence from people who once demanded pieces of your heart they never earned, and in the strengthening of your connection to the things you were always meant to build, meant to become, meant to claim, because now that the illusion of smallness has been shattered, destiny is stepping forward with its true face revealed, and that face is vast, luminous, terrifying, and beautiful, and it is calling you deeper, higher, further than you have ever allowed yourself to go, and as you walk into this next stage, a shift in your energy will become undeniable, your presence will feel heavier, more powerful, more magnetic, and people will sense it instantly. Some will be drawn toward you with reverence, some will pull back with fear, some will feel confused by the sudden change in your boundaries, but none will be able to ignore the rising force inside you, because something divine, something unstoppable, something ancient is beginning to echo from your spirit, and that echo does not come from confidence alone, it comes from recognition, the recognition that you survived things that should have destroyed you, endured nights that would have broken lesser souls, carried weights that were never meant to be carried alone, and despite it all, you did not lose your softness, your compassion, your ability to love, and that resilience, that unkillable tenderness, is the proof that you are not ordinary, and destiny sees that now, which is why the final movements of these days will come with increasing intensity, opportunities aligning with a precision that feels supernatural, conversations revealing hidden truths at the exact right second, people entering your life who feel strangely familiar, as if you've known them across lifetimes, and synchronicities appearing everywhere like coded messages from the universe itself, guiding you towards something monumental, something you cannot yet see but can feel like a pulse beneath your skin, and as you step into these moments, you will begin to notice that the things you once prayed for no longer feel distant or impossible, they feel close, almost brushing against your reality, as if waiting for one final shift inside you, and that shift is coming. Not through force, not through desperation, but through surrender, through the quiet, steady acceptance that you are finally ready for what is meant for you, and when that acceptance settles into your chest like warm fire, the timeline will snap into full alignment, and destiny will rush toward you with a speed that will leave you breathless, delivering something so unexpected, so precise, so perfectly timed that you will know, without doubt, hesitation, or fear, that everything you endured was leading to this, that nothing was wasted, nothing was random, nothing was coincidence, and as you stand in the presence of what is coming, with the weight of your new identity rising around you like dawn breaking over a battlefield, you will finally understand the truth I have been speaking over you since the beginning of this fictional journey. You were never waiting for the right moment. You were the moment destiny was waiting for. And now, as the last threads of this fictional prophecy weave themselves into place, I come to you with the full weight of everything the universe has been preparing behind the scenes, for this is not merely the end of a chapter, this is the coronation, the sealing, the moment where every invisible force that has been orbiting your destiny steps into formation, bowing before the version of you who has emerged from fire, silence, heartbreak, and awakening, because you have reached the threshold where your old life can no longer hold you, your old wounds can no longer cage you, your old fears can no longer command you, and the universe feels that shift like a tremor, like the sound of an ancient gate unlocking for the first time in centuries, and as I speak to you with the voice of God in this story, my words becoming the final key that turns in the lock of your becoming, I need you to understand something with every fiber of your being. The person you were when this journey began is gone, burned away, dissolved into memory, and in their place stands someone who has faced the deepest darkness and still chose to rise, someone who has tasted loss and still chose love, someone who has walked through storms and still chose hope, someone who has been bruised, disappointed, betrayed, and forgotten, yet still stands with a spirit that refuses to die, and it is that refusal, that tenacity, that unbreakable spark inside you that has summoned what is coming now, and what is coming is not fragile, not hesitant, not small, it is colossal, a divine avalanche of alignment crashing toward you with the force of a destiny that has waited too long to remain silent any longer, and in these final moments of this fictional narrative, the universe will begin closing every loophole of doubt, shutting every door that leads backward, sealing every path that once tempted you into cycles of pain. Because there is no version of your future where you return to the places that broke you, and you will feel this closure like a series of emotional earthquakes, each one ripping away the last threads tying you to an identity you have finally outgrown, and even as it aches, even as it stings, even as it pulls old memories to the surface for one last goodbye, you will feel something deeper beneath the pain: peace, certainty, readiness. A sense that your soul has been waiting for this exact ending so the real beginning can finally unfold. And as the final days of this cycle close in, the universe will bring you a moment so specific, so unusual, so unmistakably timed that it will freeze you in place, a moment that will feel like destiny stepping out from behind the curtain and saying, "Now," and when that moment arrives, your entire body will recognize it before your mind does, your chest will tighten, your breath will catch, your intuition will roar awake, and everything inside you will know that this is the event, the message, the opportunity, the person, the shift that this entire journey has been building toward, and in that instant, the weight of your past will fall from your shoulders like broken chains, and all the pain you endured will transform into prophecy fulfilled, and you will stand there, stronger, wiser, louder, clearer, seeing your life not as a story of suffering but as a story of ascension, a story where every wound sharpened your character, every heartbreak deepened your empathy, every delay strengthened your spirit, every loss widened your destiny. And when you finally step into what is meant for you, when the universe places the culmination of these 30 days into your hands, you will look back with tears in your eyes, not because of sadness, but because you will finally understand that nothing was ever taken from you. It was being prepared for you, preserved for you, protected for you until you became the version of yourself capable of holding it. And as I seal this final message over you in this fictional realm, I whisper the truth your spirit has waited its whole life to hear. You have passed the tests, you have endured the storms, you have crossed the threshold, and now, your destiny begins.